Welcome back to Leon's Homegrown. Today, this video is going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to do is going to walk around and have a little bit of an update of everything I've been growing. I'm also going to mention a few channels that I follow for a bit of gardening inspiration. Some of these channels get a little bit of inspiration from some of the stuff I'm doing, some of the ideas that I'm doing. Anyway, so I'll turn the camera around and we'll go for a bit of a walk. We'll have a look at how everything's growing. And I mentioned some of these channels that I follow. Okay, so we'll get to the garden, so bear with me for a sec. But while we're up here looking at some of the plants that isn't the garden, the first one I'd like to talk about, I'll mention, is Claire's Cottage Aspirations. Now, she's definitely inspired me to plant flowers, which I always want to do anyway, to help pollinators. So while I'm up here and we've got a few flowers, well, there's flowers around. So Claire's Cottage Garden, definitely an inspiring channel. Small one, but definitely worth looking at. Okay, so we'll head down here. We're in real time like normal, so you have to excuse the wobbling as I go through gates and stuff. And we'll go all the way around the property, well, the garden anyway. So while we're at the veggie patch, the next one I'd like to mention is Sydney Backyard Vegetables, or Sydney Backyard Veggies actually. And he's definitely a good one. His name's Anthony. It's definitely a good one with real time what's growing at the time. And yeah, so Sydney Backyard Veggies, definitely one to check out as well. So we're down at the potato harvest here at the moment that I planted not even 2 weeks ago. All the potatoes are up. These are from my own seed. And if you guys remember, these ones just on this end were all the ones I just cut off an eye off the actual off like basically a little bit of potato peel with an eye on it. Just cut it, didn't peel it obviously. And yeah, so they're growing quite well. So we'll head down here and have a bit of a look at how everything's growing. I'll mention some of these channels as we go. This one's still going. We've got another fruit down here. Still not sure what it is. Some sort of pumpkin from my research. It's the bigger one over there. Anyway, I might have to try to finish building this trellis system here because really want it off this bed so I can plant some vegetables. The garlic's going pretty good. I did notice that it was going a little bit yellowish, so I gave it a really weak mix of worm juice from the worm farm, and she's going pretty good. So the garlic's going quite well. Excuse the dogs barking, as you know, they think I'm talking to myself. Beans and peas, they're popping up pretty good as well. And while I'm still mentioning channels, the next one I'd like to mention is the Food Forest Oz. It's a reasonably new channel, and his name's Brento, I'm pretty sure. And he seems like a really nice guy, and he's doing a lot of he's going 100% organic, and he's doing a lot of building like the infrastructure and that, which is quite cool. So the zucchini's growing good here as well. So over here is the tomatoes that we planted. Looks like they've rooted in quite nicely. And if you haven't seen them, there's plenty of videos I've got out with the different stuff I'm planting. A lot of them have been really bad lighting, unfortunately, because I like to plant a lot of the stuff at night. Anyway, another one I'd like to mention is Roots and Refuge Farm. Now they're an old channel, and like their really early stuff, they were doing stuff quite basically on sort of a budget, as you would be able to tell, and they've actually moved to a different farm about 4 or 5 years ago, and some of the stuff may be a little bit out of our out of our range for the average person to be able to afford. But anyway, there's still got plenty of videos there. If you scroll back through some of the older stuff, you'll be able to find that. Over here we've got the flower garden and a fair few weeds. You can probably hear that ticking of the electric fence as well, just over there, and for holding the chickens in place. But anyway, so the next one I'd like to mention is, well, before I mention them, I'll just mention this borage. This is a borage and Cosmo that I planted. There's a Cosmo there, and that was last season. So they just self-seeded themselves, and actually they're growing better than the ones I brought. And I did buy them for that reason. And as I mentioned, the flowers, Claire's Cottage Aspirations, the ones you want to check out. But anyway, so the next one I want to talk about is Modern Farmers. So the Modern Farmers is Cody, I can't remember his wife's name, but anyway, they do a lot of stuff and a lot of preserving and stuff like that. So that's a great channel to watch. Plus they grow their own. But they're over in a spot where you get a bit of snow, and the snow can, obviously, they don't do much while everything's covered in snow. Here's another one of these self-seeded tomatoes. And she's really picked up, well, she or he. I'd say it's a she. We'll call it a she anyway. So it's really picked up in the last couple of weeks. Expanded a lot. Now this garden here has still got weeds. As you can see, there's a weed right there, and bulk of them will be weeds as well. So we'll go over to the old strawberry patch, and unfortunately I just didn't give it enough water for our harsh summers. So I've only got a few strawberry plants. If anyone's local to southeast Queensland and Gympie and wants to give me some strawberry runners, feel free to contact me. You should be able to contact me through my email. But there is strawberry going there, which was the plan, to have the sort of like the autumn flush. Unfortunately, I haven't got that many there. But anyway, the next one I'd like to mention would be Anne of All Trades. Now she calls herself the lazy gardener, and she does a fair bit of wood chip stuff, which I do wood chips in the food forest, not so much in the garden beds there. But yeah, Anne of All Trades. So she's got quite a few different videos in there, and it is inspiring to watch some of her videos as well. Down to the chickens. And as you know, I fenced off with this electric fence area here where they can actually free range, and then I moved the electric fence according to how it's going. Like at the moment I've chopped them trees down, I put them down there so they're pooping and stuff in all them branches and leaves which are all broken down, and then I'll just go and gather all that up. There will be a swale there at some stage. So while we're heading over to this new fruit tree plant, yeah, stop carrying on. Fruit tree planting, which you'll see in some of my other videos. We'll have a bit of a look here where I've got the brassicas and fruit trees. So the next one why we're looking at fruit trees would be, that I like to mention, would be Garden Likes Dad. Now he's a reasonably new channel, and he's got a lot of fruit trees in there. He's not showing us them all, because every time you watch something there's something else pops back up. So he's definitely one to have a look at, and seems like a nice guy just raising his families. So Garden Likes Dad, it's his channel. So the brassicas have well, separated. They've all seemed to going quite well. So that's them brassicas, meaning cauliflower, broccoli. There's a few others in that brassica plant family, like cabbages and stuff like that as well. But anyway, over here we've got broccoli, and then towards the end we've got cauliflower. So it doesn't look like any have died, which is good. So that's basically the new bed I've done. That's called Plant Fruit Trees, and and how to build a swale. That video, if you're interested in that, that's the most recent one. Everything's going pretty good with its transplant. Over this side of it, I ended up putting cauliflower after that video, and then I've sown all through here. Hopefully they come up wildflower mix. And remember, I did mention Claire's cottage aspirations. She's definitely given me some inspiration for doing that, but I can't see anything coming up. I can see stuff coming up, but I'm not sure whether it's weeds or a plant. There's definitely bits and pieces coming up. Okay, so yeah, you really need the flowers for the pollination, that's for sure, and that's what I was lacking with my zucchini I grew last season. So the lawn's not growing as much as it was, which is good. Anyway, we'll keep walking and talking. So as you know, there's a bit of project happening over there. We'll head over there after we get down to the end of the food forest here. So while we're entering the food forest, and say hello to the chickens. Yes, Rooster Boy. He's not trying to attack me anymore, which is good. So we're heading down to the food forest area. The next one I'd like to mention, which is a reasonably large channel. It's called Byron Grows. Now he's and he does a lot of agroforestry planting, and he goes to a lot of different farms all over the world. And he also does, I think he does a little bit of permaculture. Seeing how other people do the permaculture. So the food forest, as you can see, it's not going too bad. It would be a lot more nice if them horses didn't eat all my bananas. But anyway, not much I can do. Well, I can. I have to fix the fence so they can't reach their head over there. Anyway, we'll keep heading up. And yes, I still need to harvest that rosella, but I will get there. So basically this video is just letting people know that sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming to plant. You watch some of the bigger channels and you're like, you know, oh yeah, I like that, but I can't do it. And you just got to start from somewhere. So just plant somewhere, or even just build a bed and obviously cover it and go back to it later, which I've got plenty of beds that are full of grass at the moment. And these chickens are still following me around. And I really should start feeding these chickens before I make these videos, eh? Anyway, you just have to wait a bit longer. Alright, so we mentioned quite a few. So there's only going to be a couple more that I mention as we finish our little tour of how everything's growing. We'll quickly go over there. Some of the brassicas are going good. Something ate some of them, unfortunately. So again, I'm having a few storage issues on this phone. But anyway, we're back out to it. So I'm pretty sure I was mentioning that we're not going to be mentioning heaps of different people. But this trellis garden, you probably remember, it's got plenty growing. The capsicums are still going and overwintering. Still got a few capsicums here and there, still even flowering. The basil, which is Thai basil, which is for the pollinators, that's going really well. And also the other one I wanted to talk to you about was this one right here, which is a pineapple sage. So I know there's a lot of different sages there, but this is meant to be my tea garden. Anyway, we did harvest heaps and we got it drying to make some tea out of that. Still a bit of weeding to do, as you can hear me go through. The kale's going pretty good as well. Alright, so that's this garden bed here where the carrots are planted out, and made a video on that yesterday. And I've got the pond. So while we're at the pond system, which is still a work in progress, next to my avocado tree there. Basically, another inspiring channel to watch is the Pond Guy. and we'll just head over to the aquaponics. It's a little bit of a mess on this side, but we'll go quickly over to the bit of the mandarins. Plenty of mandarins. We'll quickly go over here and have a look at some of these lettuces, and that would be the last channel I want to recommend to having a look at is called Bob's Aquaponics and Home Farm. So it's an old channel, and you'll be able to definitely see how to build an aquaponic system. Be different than mine, obviously, but he's got a lot of information on there, and he's built a farm, so he's actually concentrating on a few other things, but he's got plenty of old videos, so don't be scared to stroll down through old videos of channels and see what they have done. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go and feed these chickens because they're screaming at me, and I need to get a bit of work done. So as you can see, the mess I've made here. But anyway, again, thanks for watching, and don't be scared to just do a little garden and go from there. And if some of these channels I mentioned inspire you, even better. But I am going to put in the comments a list of them. I think there's about 9 or 10 channels that I mentioned, and if you want to go and follow them, that's great. And also please leave a comment of channels that you like, so I'll be interested to see what you like, or if you're just a silent person that doesn't normally comment on my channel but you've been watching my videos, it would be really good for you to just comment a channel you like, and I might have a look at your channel. It might be okay, guys, so thanks for joining me on that. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out some of them channels I mentioned, and we'll see if we can get this channel up to 500. All right, thanks guys, see you next time.